What if that bone-deep tiredness you carry, the kind that sleep doesn't fix, the kind you've been told is just age, just stress, just life has nothing to do with how hard you work, and everything to do with what's missing from your blood? I am Morphix, old as the roots, wise as the soil. Let me show you what the land has always known. Not a potion, not magic, iron. The same iron that runs in the soil runs in your blood, and when it runs low, the body cannot carry oxygen to its own fires. The lamp gutters, not because the wick is bad, but because it has run out of oil. Now hear me plainly, because I do not deal in false promises. Iron only restores the weary if they are truly running empty. If your stores are full, more will not lift you higher, and chasing too much can harm you. But for the many who are running low, the bleeding, the growing, the childbearing, those who eat little flesh, the right foods, can bring the light back to the eyes. Not in an instant. The body mends over weeks, the way a field greens after rain, but it mends. So let me give you 7 foods the land has always offered for this exact weakness. Most are cheap, most are common. Some grow in your garden, some are raised on the homestead, and one is likely sitting in your kitchen already. I'll show you the old way each was used, what the science now confirms, and most important, how to actually unlock the iron, because most people waste it. And stay with me, because 2 of these will surprise you. There is one green leaf the whole world believes is an iron giant, and the truth about it is stranger than the legend. And there is one humble food so powerful against a deadly blood disease that the healers who prescribed it were given the highest honor in all of science. I'll come to both. If this knowledge belongs in your life, tap subscribe and stay rooted, because the rooted aren't just subscribers. They're the ones who carry this knowledge forward. 1. Spinach, the famous pretender. Spinacia oleracea, the leaf, a cartoon sailor made strong. Let me begin with the one everyone thinks they know, because the legend is a warning. You have been told spinach is an iron powerhouse, and it does carry iron a cup, cooked down, holds a fair amount. But here is what the old wives never knew. Spinach is also full of oxalates, compounds that grab the iron and refuse to let your body have it. So much of that iron passes right through you, untouched. And the famous story that a scientist slipped decimal point once exaggerated spinach's iron tenfold and fooled the world? Researchers have gone looking for that original mistake, and they cannot find it. The decimal tale is itself a myth, a story about a story. Even the sailor's creator first praised spinach for its vitamin A, not its iron. I have watched humanity build a temple to this leaf for the wrong reason entirely. Eat it, but eat it knowing the truth. The action. Eat spinach cooked. Never trust it raw for iron. Boiling sheds some of the oxalates. Squeeze lemon over it. The vitamin C pries the iron loose. And never wash it down with milk. Calcium blocks the little iron that's left. 2. Blackstrap molasses, the dark tonic. From the sugar cane, Saccharum officinarum, but only the third and final boiling, when the sweetness is spent and the minerals remain. When you boil cane juice down again and again to draw off the sugar, what's left in that thick, bitter dark syrup is a concentration of iron, calcium, and magnesium. A single spoonful carries 1/5 of a day's iron. I remember this one well. Across the colonial Americas, molasses was the common sweetener of the poor, and the grandmothers kept a jar as a blood tonic for the weak and the tired. They trusted it for tired blood long before anyone could measure what was in it. They were partly right, the iron is real, though the tonic was never the miracle they claimed. The action. Stir 1 tablespoon into warm water or a glass of orange juice, that vitamin C again. Multiplying what you absorb. Choose the unsulfured kind. And remember, it is still sugar, so a spoonful is medicine, not a habit. 3 pumpkin seeds, the pocket strength. Cucurbita pepo, the seed of the squash, saved and dried. A small handful of these green seeds carries a steady dose of iron, along with magnesium and zinc minerals that feed the body's quiet, steady energy. I have watched the first peoples of the Americas plant the squash beside the corn and the beans, the 3 sisters, growing as one, and nothing of that squash was wasted. The flesh fed the winter, the seeds were toasted and carried as strength for the journey. 10,000 seasons of that wisdom. The action. Eat them raw or lightly toasted. Scatter them over a salad with peppers or tomatoes so the vitamin C can do its work. Store them cool and dark, their good oils turn rancid in the heat. 4 lentils, the patient staple, Lens culinaris, one of the first plants humanity ever tamed. A single cooked cup of lentils carries a generous load of iron, plus protein and folate, and the plant gives back as it grows, pulling nitrogen from the air to feed the very soil it stands in. Few foods are so honest. I have seen lentils simmering in clay pots across the Fertile Crescent for more than 10,000 years. This was the red pottage of the old stories, the stew so tempting a man traded his birthright for a bowl of it. From the kitchens of the East to the Mediterranean shore, it was the food that kept the poor standing. The action. Soak them before cooking to loosen the phytates that block iron. Cook them with tomato or a squeeze of lemon. And here is an old trick. Simmer them in a cast iron pot. A little of the pot's iron passes into the food. Stay with me now, for the strongest are still ahead. If the land has ever lifted you when you were low, tap that like it tells the others where to find this knowledge. The 3 that remain are the ones whose iron the body drinks up most readily of all. And the last is the one I'd reach for first. 5 red meat, the old reliable. The flesh of cattle, Bos taurus, raised on the homestead, on grass and open ground. Here is where the science turns sharp. Plant iron is real, but the body takes up only a small share of it. The iron in red meat is different. It is heme iron, woven into the blood and muscle of the animal, and the body absorbs far more of it. And stranger still, a little meat in a meal helps you pull more iron from the plants beside it. Across every culture I have walked through, the broth and the red meat were saved for the ones who needed strength most, the new mother after the birth, the sick rising from the bed, the weak made strong again. Folk wisdom found this truth long before science named it. The action. Choose lean cuts. Pair them with vegetables for a complete meal. And do not drink tea or coffee with that meal. The dark brew carries tannins that snatch the iron away. 6 oysters, the sea's hidden iron. Crassostrea virginica, the eastern oyster, and its kin along every coast. Few think of the oyster as an iron food, but it is one of the richest, and it is that readily absorbed heme iron again, packed alongside more zinc than almost any food on earth. And consider this, the oyster feeds by filtering the water, cleaning the sea as it grows. There is no gentler way to raise an animal. I have seen the great shell mounds, the old coastal peoples left behind mountains of oyster shells piled over countless generations, from the Roman beds to the shores of this land. Where the water met the people, the oyster fed them. The action. Eat them cooked, steamed, or grilled with a squeeze of lemon, both for the old flavor and the iron it unlocks. But hear my warning. If your blood already carries too much iron, or your liver is weak, raw oysters can carry real danger. Cook them. 7 liver, the king of the blood. The liver of cattle or calf, Bos taurus, the most concentrated iron food the homestead offers. I saved this for last because nothing else compares. Liver carries dense, readily absorbed heme iron, and with it, the very building blocks the body uses to make new blood, the B vitamins, the folate, the copper. It is, quite simply, blood food. And this is the one I promised you. A century ago, a deadly blood disease wasted people away with no cure in sight until two physicians discovered that feeding their patients' liver day after day brought them back from the edge. For that discovery, the healers were awarded the Nobel Prize itself. I had watched the grandmothers feed liver to the pale and the failing for centuries before those doctors were ever born. The science only caught up to what the kitchen already knew. The action. A small serving 3 or 4 ounces, about once a week is plenty. It is too rich for daily eating. Pan fry it, or make it into a pâté if the taste is strong. But mark this carefully. Liver is so high in vitamin A that those who are pregnant, or hoping to be, should avoid it entirely. For everyone else, it is the oldest blood builder there is. So here is the truth the land has held all along. Your tiredness may not be a sentence you must simply accept. For the many who run low on iron, the weariness can lift slowly, honestly, over weeks fed by foods that grow in the garden, graze on the homestead, or wait in the pantry. Remember the shape of it. Iron from animals, the liver, the oyster, the red meat your body drinks up easily. Iron from plants, the lentil, the seed, the dark molasses, the cooked leaf needs a helping hand. Pair it with vitamin C, and keep the tea, the coffee, and the milk away from that meal. Here's the simple protocol, the one you can begin today. Build one meal around an iron-rich food. Brighten it with something sour or citrus, and hold the dark drinks for later. Until next time, stay rooted.